DLC.
All right, let's talk about the game that's on my playlist and Christian's as well. A lot of people are playing it right now. This is an early access game, but it's the newest game from Moon Studios, a studio I know Christian and I are both huge fans of. I suspect, Ben, you have a similar affinity for their work. Ori, the two Ori games. This is the next big release from them. It is called No Rest for the Wicked. And this is a big departure. It is not a Metroidvania. It is not a 2D side-scrolling platforming. It's a completely new genre for them. And it very much, I think, easily described as Diablo meets Dark Souls. It's top-down, isometric, action RPG trappings, but very different from a Diablo in that you're not going to be fighting hordes of enemies at any given time, slicing your way through these massive fights. It's much more controlled, much more disciplined, potential to die at any moment, like a Souls game where that you're going to have to use blocks and parries. You're going to have to take on a small number of enemies, and you can find yourself wandering into areas where a single enemy will be the death of you real quick.
Stamina meter, you can't just spam attack.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest impediment, I think, to someone jumping into this game and that's expecting it to play like Path of Exile or Diablo or any of the other games that look like this, is that I expect to be able to just spam my attacks and keep rocking and rolling. And at a certain point, not only because your character real quick, especially in early levels, real quick can't even attack, but also can't move out of the way, can't roll, you're a sitting duck if you just go in swords blazing. Tell me what you think of No Rest for the Wicked, Christian.
It is early access. I think this is the version of early access that I think 1.0 of no. Oh, I got a code for this. I'm assuming, Jeff, you got a code.
Indeed. I did as well.
We got codes for this. Yeah. You can purchase it via early access, but we were both provided codes. It feels like early access in the sense that a lot of the things that I think will become sticky aren't quite tuned just right yet. I think the stamina for early levels is a real impediment and not encouraging. And I think part of it is, as you mentioned, Jeff, getting your mindset over what this game is and what you expect it to be because of how the isometric view. But it also is an ARPG in terms of collecting loot, even though that loot is a little more randomized. But it does have those Diablo, Path of Exile trappings in it as well. And I talked about my experience late to the party with Diablo 4 and Diablo Immortal. Both of those games make you feel like Clark Kent ripping off your shirt, bullets bouncing off your chest, like I am a god, I can do no wrong. And then you feel that powerful when you start, and then you walk over to the first chest and it's like, just kidding, now I'm a god. And you have this amazing weapon and you go and wreak havoc. And No Rest for the Wicked is like, you suck. You suck so bad. Oh, you turned the wrong way, you drowned, you're dead, you idiot. And that is often associated with that Souls type game, but I feel like this game doesn't do quite enough. It doesn't Fortnite me with bots to let me win my first match. It's trying to teach you all of its systems that I think are pretty. I
don't know. I beat up on a lot of crabs right at the beginning.
yes, you do. You beat up on a lot of crabs.
Those idiots on the pirate ship, they're fine to take out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's trying to kind of teach you these systems, but it does it, I think, while still punishing you. And for me, the stamina buildup felt slow going. The fall damage felt severe in a world where felt like I was exploring and not platforming, but kind of platforming. And so I feel like there are some little tweaks. I'm not a developer, change some numbers on the back end.
You're looking for more rest for the wicked. Is that your angle?
A little bit of not no rest, just
right.
Just give me a nap for the wicked. How about that?
I just need a bench with a pad on it. Ben. That's all.
Oh, okay. God, now you're speaking my language. Got it.
Rest for the wicked. It's beautiful though. Holy crap!
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
My goodness, is it beautiful? I absolutely love how this game looks. And there's in the menu, it's like DLSS is coming. I'm like, oh, I can't wait till DLSS comes.
But it's grayed out unless you have a PS5 Pro. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, smart. No, it is funny. Like I booted up just a little bit before we started the show here, and I mean the art style surprised me. I thought I was paying attention to this game when it would pop up in trailers and stuff, but even like when you're creating a character, like the default templates, like these lumpy weirdos are how the humans look in this game. It's really a bold style.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
and there's full on cutscenes, where you're like in the royal palace and everybody has this very strange elongated kind of almost claymation looking weirdness to them. And I am eating it up. I absolutely love the look of this game. It is so distinct and it really has its own identity right away. But everything also, the lighting is awesome. The color palette is so interesting. I am so into this game. I love the isometric perspective. I'm just, my favorite game of all time is Ultima 7. There's something about isometric that feels fantasy to me and wonderful. And so I'm already into it. And I have not fallen in love with Souls-like games in the past. And even this one, it is at a certain point, I'm like, I just got to log out. Right now. I just can't play this for a while because there is a level of just getting beat down and like, you got to get better. I'm like,
you got to learn the animations. You got to
learn those animations.
See a lot of these mid-tier tough creatures, and if you don't take them seriously, they're gonna wreck you every time.
Yeah, and then you just wander into a boss fight, which I did a number of times. And I'm like, oh, cool, a boss fight. Oh, that looks impossible. How did a guy with a reach that goes halfway across the screen? I can't even dodge out of the way. How am I ever gonna know the universe where this is gonna happen? But I feel like this is a game I could get really into. Mostly because the look and feel has me just loving to be in the world, but also, so you start the game in this ship, which is sort of this tutorial section, and it gives you a sword and shield very quickly. And just like, okay, shield for blocking, parrying, sword for attacks, go. And you're like, okay, slice. Oh, you're out of stamina. Oh, really? That quickly? Oh boy. Oh my goodness. That's very fast. I can't even kill somebody without running out of stamina. That seems excessive. And so the very beginning of the game, I think, feels really harsh. It is an impediment. It was to me, I think. And I think it will be to many. But very quickly, I got like two daggers, double wielding daggers, which is much more of a, agility weapon. And I'm like, slice. And I was like, well, now I'm having fun. Now I'm really enjoying the combat system because it really is a departure from that very heavy, slow attack, waited out. I kind of like the ability of rushing in. And there's still like stealth attacks where you can run up behind people or sneak up behind people and attack them from behind. And I found myself relying on that a lot.
Suplexing from behind. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think that, like you said, Christian, very early access, very much this is going to be tuned. There's a lot of kinks that are going to be worked out over time. It's going to feel a lot better, but already like the crafting system is cool. That layer of Diablo doesn't really have that. I mean, you're crafting certain things in Diablo, but like the way you're making food items and you're constantly like looking for resources that'll actually benefit you moment to moment, I found to be compelling. And the one thing that it borrows from Dark Souls that I don't think people talk about enough when they talk about quote unquote Souls-likes. Souls-like almost always just means the combat system. But I think even though I've never truly fallen in love with a Souls game, when I have found the fun in Souls-likes, the thing that has really hooked me is the layer of true discovery that those games have. That every nook and cranny has some unexpected little thing hidden there. Oh, there's a chest. How do I get to that? Oh, there's an item. I can see the little glowy item somewhere. How the heck am I going to get there? Oh, I turned a corner and oh my goodness, behind this wall, there's a super bad guy, but it revealed an item that I don't have any idea what that does. No Rest for the Wicked does that. Takes that from Souls-likes and I absolutely love that in an isometric perspective. Like the doing the discovery stuff, the real true exploration where I'm, shimmying along a beam that just looked like decoration, but I found my way atop it and I shimmy, and it gets me to another area where, oh my gosh, there was a chest hidden there that has a really cool thing in it. That stuff is great. And I love it in this kind of isometric ARPG perspective. So I really have a lot of positive takeaways from No Rest for the Wicked, even if I recognize it's going to get better. It's just not, It's not reached its full potential yet, which is sort of the point. Like they're not claiming it has, right? They've put this game out very early. A lot of people are getting frame rate issues and stuff. It's just like, this is not a finished game. So I don't know if I would recommend people rushing out and buying it now, expecting a finished game. But I do think investing in this game now is something that's going to pay off down the line. And I think this is going to be a very, very good game when it's finally a 1.0.
Yeah, it's on GeForce Now. Also, I would like to point out for folks who may be like, oh, it seems like it's pretty demanding. Like its listed specs are fairly demanding. I had a really good experience with it on GeForce Now. I'm still a big fan of cloud gaming, so I fired it up on that. Played some natively, played some on GeForce Now, and it ran really well. And I love that implementation because that also lets me play it on the go, which is a great way to play this game.
I heard that they're targeting it to work great on Steam Deck, but I haven't tried it personally. Have you?
It's not great. Well, I hadn't played it today, but whenever it was 2 days ago when I tried it on Steam Deck, it was like the low graph. There's early levels. There's a lot of rain and screen effects, and to hit the lower resolution for me to get a stable 30, that stuff kind of just looked like Vaseline. So I ended up just playing on GeForce Now on my Steam Deck. And
they need to have like different, I don't know, different colors or something for Steam reviews. Because, the game came out and I checked it out and I saw like, Steam, it's in like mixed reviews. Yeah. So in my mind, it's like, I guess it's not that great of a design game so far. I don't know if it's worth jumping into. And then you find out it's a lot of people mainly just talking about, like, my computer can't handle this. It's like, I need some asterisk, just something in there. Because it seems like, am I reviewing this game on Steam negatively for design reasons or tech reasons? There needs to be some distinction there.
It is unfortunate, and especially a game that is early access. Like people, I think, have unrealistic expectations, or maybe the communication from from the developer is really the problem. I don't know, but either one of those, it's unfortunate this game is sitting at mixed because they're not claiming it's finished. And a lot of if you go through there, a lot of the complaints are like, this is an unfinished game. This is the thing. Not enough settings. I can't change the settings. And that's not, we put the game out without those things in yet, and I think that's, it's tricky. It's a tricky situation, but I do think we are past the point of you only get one chance to make a first impression. I think we've seen enough evidence that these type of things, once they get fixed and the game can have like a coming out party, I think people are going to discover this game and really fall in love with it. It's got so much going for it. And I've never been a huge fan of this type of combat, but I was having a blast with this game. I really was. And I think I'm going to set it aside for a while and come back to it, at a later date. But I am super jazzed about what they're making there. I think it's really cool.
And what a fascinating pivot. I
don't
even know if like the marketing would be helpful. It's like from the people who brought you Ori, it's like Ori is so fast, and I mean they're both beautiful, but very different graphic styles. And this is not Ori. It's not like if you loved Ori, you got to try No Rest for the Wicked. Like, no.
Yeah, completely different
yeah.
games. Although I think you just pointed this out, but I'll underline it. They have phenomenal visual artists at that company. I mean, these games are beautiful. I love the look of it. There's so many really wonderful sort of animation things that just make you go, yes, ooh, that feels good. Oh, I already like how that feels. It's cool. So we'll see where it goes, but I got a big thumbs up for where it already is on No Rest for the Wicked.
You can get the full audio version of this show by subscribing to the RSS feed, which you can find at dlcpod.com. And you can support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/dlcpod, where you will get ad-free versions of the show, video versions of the show on demand, and a whole bunch of extra content, like Wednesday's show, paid DLC, including spoiler chats, so much more. That's patreon.com/dlcpod.